everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Video Nerds. Or let's just do it this way.
Video Nerds.
I'm the Man Nerd, and I'm joined by
Stephenshred.
Stephenshred.
I was like, is he gonna say my name? So I was like, I guess I'm saying it.
All right, so this one, I'm going to let you introduce this movie because you're a big fan of the franchise, I would say. Ha ha.
All right, so today we're going to be deep diving a bit on Scream 6. And this is a sequel to the requel, which they make very, very obvious because they even say it in the movie.
So obvious.
So as they usually do, they had the last movie just be called Scream, which seems to be the thing to do these days. You have your sequel attached to the original. You ignore some things, which in this case it didn't ignore any of the other sequels, which was pretty cool. But then you just name your sequel reboot thing the same name as the original. So this is a sequel to Scream, the, I believe, 2021 movie?
22.
22, damn.
Yeah, didn't
Just
take
a
them
year
long.
between them. It's following same characters, everything from the last movies, Tara and Sam. The events that happened in the previous movie, this is a year later, which is funny because I guess the movies came out a year later.
Yeah, so that totally makes sense. Yeah. I thought it was like years ago. And then, I was rewatching some of these. Did you know that the one before the requel, Scream 4, that was 2011?
Jesus.
Isn't that crazy?
I remember seeing the commercials to it. I didn't think it was that long ago, though. That's insane.
Yeah, me neither. When I was rewatching, I was like, what the hell?
I remember that one. That was one of the only Scream movies where I actually completely got thrown for a loop on who the killer was.
Really? Even the first one?
The first one, I mean, they pointed it out so many times. I didn't think that there was two killers. I thought some weird was going down. I don't know, like when you get a vibe for the bad guy, sometimes you're just like, we'll see.
When you rewatch it, it's funny because it's like, yeah, they're totally giving off those vibes. Shit. Holy crap.
Yeah, but talking about Scream 6 today, so the last movie, Tara gets attacked at the beginning. Tara, for some reason I forgot how they say it. I think it's just Tara, right?
Tara, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I got all weird with that. So
Let's just call her Tara for now.
So she gets attacked in the beginning of the movie, in the last movie, which causes her sister Sam, who has been disconnected from the family, to come back. Turns out she is the original killer's daughter from the very first Scream film. So she has this kind of hallucination ghost dad thing that gives her the urge to kill, which is, it's very strange because supernatural stuff has never really been a part of it. But this feels very supernatural. It doesn't feel like a mental thing because she didn't know her dad at all. She never met him. She never met him, but she's seen him in this basically the same from photos that she's seen before. So it might be a mental thing. Very well Could
might
be.
That's what I get out of it.
Maybe she's just building a persona of her dad out of the media coverage that she's seen of him.
Yeah, that's what I got.
But so she comes back. Killer goes through all of Tara's friends and a bunch of characters that we've known from the franchise, and it turns out that it's one of Tara's friends and it is Sam's boyfriend, because always, just like Saw, everyone is somehow connected to everything, and
in one way or another. Yep.
Yeah, so now we're at
and that's
Scream
why we
6.
come back. You haven't said it yourself. You want to see how they make this happen.
Yeah. So Scream 6, we're a year later. We're in a completely different place. Sisters are, Sam's being very protective of her younger sister, and people start getting killed again with the ghost face mask.
Of course. Okay, before we get into the whole review, we got to do a no spoilers movie review. So I'd say on this one, for me, I rewatched 4, 5, and 6. So this one It's definitely a lot more brutal. There are things that happen that didn't really happen before, and it definitely gives it the feel of they're not really safe anywhere, which shows in the movie. I'd say it for an overall Scream movie, it was decent. I think the actors were pretty good. Of course, I like Tara the best because Jenna Ortega, come on. And Chad actually kind of grew on me in the last movie. Not so much. This one, I kind of like him. I'd say, man, as for a Scream movie, the ending, didn't like it. I felt like there's definitely been better, but it keeps you going. It was a pretty decent movie. I'm going to save my full review rating until the end. So, what do you think?
I would say I was expecting a little more. I thought the change of setting and the idea that, we're dealing with a whole new cast, kind of like, they're carrying the movie as opposed to the old cast, that it was going to be a change of pace. But I did appreciate the gore. I did appreciate the bigger world and the bigger, the bigger selection of possible killers. Because at the end of the day, all of these movies are a whodunit.
Oh, yeah.
And this one definitely felt more menacing because it felt like it wasn't like random acts of violence. It felt like they were being chased and stalked the entire movie.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I liked it, but I did expect more than the classic whodunit. Not going to give any spoilers, of course, but...
Well, not yet.
I'll say I just expected a little more. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. All right. So now we're to that time, man. We're to that time. You know what I'm going to do. Let's do it.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
I don't know about you, but I had that up so loud. Wow.
I mean, I have seasonal allergies going on pretty hard, so it covered a few of my sniffles, so I'm fine with it.
Okay. Sweet. Okay. So let's just jump into this right in the beginning, man. It kind of threw me for a loop right at the beginning because, going into this, I was like, yeah, they're definitely going to do stuff different. And when they actually freaking went through a kill scene about this professor, hot professor, getting ready for a date, trying to meet somebody online, basically, and then going outside, being lured into an alley and then killed, and then revealing the killer's face right off the bat. How did that make you feel? I was like, are they going to do it this way for the whole movie? What the hell?
Yeah, I was super confused, but I got super hopeful. So, all right, quick little tangent. So There's a series called The Following. So The Following stars Kevin Bacon. He's a detective, and the whole thing is that his big case was a serial killer, and he locked up serial killer. Serial killer gets out. Well, they escape, and then they finally murder the person that Kevin Bacon was so proud that he protected from them. And it turns out they have this huge cult following all over the place, and all of these people have injected themselves into the lives of the enemies of this serial killer, and they're causing chaos everywhere because it's a cult following, the idea of murder and all this stuff. So there's people all over the place. You don't know who's in on it. You don't know, your neighbor is part of the cult and they moved in 3 years ago because they were ordered to. That was supposed to be Scream 3. They didn't take it, so they did something else for Scream 3, and the original script for Scream 3, or the original pitch, turned into the show The Following.
Oh, that would have been so good.
So when I saw that beginning part, and I saw it unmasking immediately, and then he's talking to somebody else that is talking about, they wanted to know the feeling and all that stuff, I thought we were getting that storyline. I thought we were getting the Ghostface cult, where we were going to get mass killings all over the place in the name of Ghostface, in the name of the original killers. But we didn't get that.
Nope.
That killed my hype a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah. I also thought the actor pick was funny because all I could ever think of is him and Spider-Man calling Peter Parker Penis Parker.
Crappy Flash Gordon. Or not Flash Gordon, Flash Thompson.
Yeah. So as soon as I saw him, I was just like, "The hell? What are you doing here?" And then I always feel I knew it was coming though, because anytime Samara Weaving is in something and she's not the main character, she dies.
Yeah. Damn it. Oh well.
Every time. Every time I see her pop up as a random side character, I'm like, oh, she's dead. She even gets killed in Ash vs. the Evil Dead. She pops up in there like randomly. I'm like, hey, that's Samara Weaving. I'm like, oh no, she's dead.
I forgot about that.
That definitely threw me for a loop. I was excited because I was like, are we finally getting it? And then they end up just victims that it immediately alerts, the sisters and everybody involved that it's going to be going down.
And you know what I thought about that whole intro thing? I thought they were going to do like a Dexter twist, like the killer kills killers only.
I thought that too, but then it started to all kick off and I was like, oh, never mind. I was like, oh, we're getting the cult. I'm like, no, we're not.
Yeah.
We're getting a revenge killer? No, we're not. A lot of confusion. And then it was just like, oh, no, this is just a Scream movie.
They're in New York now. Tara is going to college with her friends, the twins from the last one. Which was it? It was Mindy and Chad. Yeah, Mindy and Chad, who are relatives of Randy. And everybody knows Randy. He was the video store nerd that talked about the rules in the first one. The rules of a horror movie.
And Mindy plays the exact same character.
Exact same character. They're in college. Tara's having a hard time. She's avoiding her feelings, of course. And Sam, there's this conspiracy theory online that's saying that she was the mastermind behind the last killings, that she set up Richie, her boyfriend, and Amber. Richie and Amber set up Richie and Amber to take the fall, and she orchestrated the whole thing. So everybody, she's like famous for being a psycho, and everybody just hates her. That was kind of a shock as well, because basically Richie's whole thing, his whole movie actually kind of happened. And you find out why later. Why this happened.
I was not sure of how things were gonna go, because once they showed that, I was even thinking like maybe this is real, maybe this is the thing. Things started going like I got so many wires crossed and all these ideas flowing. But then as we progressively get into it, it makes it very clear that she's not the killer. So it's like these ideas just kind of started going everywhere, and then they just started getting killed one by one.
Oh, yeah. Now, the first time that the killer shows up after they call Sam on the street, when Sam and Tara are walking to the police station to be interviewed, I noticed something watching it the second time. You hear the killer's voice. He like grunts, and then I forget exactly what he says when he's pushed onto some bikes, but it is clear who it is. It is so clear. It's just a split second, but you don't notice it the first time. I wonder if did you catch that?
I actually did not.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell?
That makes sense that they would throw something in there.
Oh yeah. And then the convenience store, man, that really got me. Just how they thought they were safe in public. There was a bunch of people in there, and then he just starts rampaging. That was nuts.
That scene annoyed me so much.
Did it?
Because why did he say hey? He has a shotgun pointed at the back of the Ghostface's head, and instead of just pulling the trigger, he goes hey, and then he turns and he gets stabbed. I'm like, what? Why?
He could have taken him out, but you know how that is. They never do that.
They literally do that like 50 times in the movie. Every time somebody has a clear shot or they got the jump on them, there's hey, like what? Bam, get stabbed. It's like, stop giving it away.
That was even like how Dewey died in the last one. Like he could have done it, and then he's like, okay, let's go. And then he's like, wait, I need to shoot him in the head. And then he gets killed.
It's like, dude, you're a
you could have done it before.
You could do it from where you're standing right now. You don't need to be that close to hit someone in the head. Like, especially with a gun like that in a hallway like that, and they're just sitting there. Like, I'm sure you could hit him. Just stay where you are.
Or at least pepper the whole body with bullets.
Yeah, God. There's so many parts where I'm just like, why? It's like I understand horror movie logic, but it's like, why? Like, just put them in scenarios where it isn't so painfully obvious that they made a mistake. give us one time where it's just like, oh, this was an unavoidable situation.
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question.
All right.
In this movie, I got a feeling that the number of killers was going to be different than all the rest, basically, because they always keep the 2 killers, pretty much, except one movie. I guessed, and because it just felt that way from the way they were being attacked. Did you get that feeling from it?
I actually did not. For some weird reason, maybe because I didn't think that deeply, I thought it might just be one person.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I think it was because I was looking at every situation as like they could just be possibly being stalked by one person. But after the fact, I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. There's too many things going on at one time, and there's too many like traps set for it to just be one person. So it's almost like
they're always a step ahead.
Yeah, it's like they're wrangling them in. It's like, okay, this person's gonna chase. This person's already here, and if they escape, this person's over here. So it's like it made sense after the fact, but like while I was watching, I was like, huh. I thought they were just switching masks, which is a big part of it. The masks from all of the previous movies were brought in on this movie, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool, especially the older masks that you see the killers wearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see it's all cracked and old and shit. Lots of chasing, lots of people dying. Now the core group, of course, gets attacked. And for some weird reason, I'm just going to jump to it. The core group just survives. Not everybody in the core group always survives, so that's kind of strange. I do have a viewpoint on Tara and Chad, though. If you notice, Tara in the last one, she got fatally stabbed like 7 times in the beginning. And then she got injured again later. She had a broken leg like the whole movie. And Chad got fatally stabbed in the stomach, but survived. So those two survive getting brutally stabbed. The same thing happens in this movie. And at the end, what the heck was with Tara getting full-blown fatally stabbed in the stomach and then at the end walking away with a sling? That messes with my head. Like Chad was taken away by an ambulance, kind of like Dewey was, but she just walked away with her sister. And I've watched it 4 times. Fatally stabbed all the way to the hilt in the stomach.
It's confusing. You know what was the weird thing to me, though? Like, we haven't really talked about it. So, how do you say her name? Hayden Panettiere?
Oh, is it Kirby?
Yeah. So she was brought back in this movie. And so she works for the FBI now. All of this. So she's helping with the investigation because she's like, you know, directly connected to all that. And at one point, she gets stabbed in the stomach.
Yep. Again, the
and
same
Sam
spot.
Just rips the knife out and just like, I gotta use this. I'm like, what? You're never supposed to do that.
I know.
I was just like, what? And then after she's like, oh, I'm fine. Like, don't worry about me. I'm just like, what? Like,
and what's with all the twisting of the knife inside the body? There's so much of that.
Yeah. I felt bad for Mindy's girlfriend in it. She just gets really messed up. And it just makes it worse because there's like that scene in particular. They're in their apartment. The 4 core members are, you know, they're there at the table. They're having dinner. Mindy's girlfriend's there. And for some weird reason, they are perfectly fine with their roommate being in the room with a guy with the door closed in the middle of all this. So I was like, for one, why? And then 2, so Ghostface attacks, as he does. And they notice all the, anything that could be used as a weapon is gone from the kitchen. And they pick up the knife block, which, if you ever picked up a knife block, they're very heavy.
Heavy as shit, yeah.
And she smashes Ghostface in the face with it, and he drops. Why not double tap? Start smashing his head in. What's he gonna do? He's on the floor already. There's 4 people with you. Hold him down. They're not strong. Like, they're not superhuman. Just hold him down, start smashing his face in.
What about this? The killers are revealed later, and of course, they were one of the people revealed in the movie that have been around the whole time. Why the hell weren't their faces all screwed up?
All the times they got hit?
Yeah.
That would honestly be my biggest thing. It's like, I don't know if you remember the movie. I forgot what is it. what's the movie called? Is it Silver Bullet?
The werewolf one? Stephen King?
Yeah, and the whole reason they're able to tell who the werewolf was because they shot a firework in his eye, so they'd be wearing an eye patch.
Yep.
That is the whole... Why are they not marking ghost faces? Like, yo, I stabbed him in the hand to look for somebody with a hand wrap.
Yeah, they even did that in the last one in Scream. Chad was like put to the front of the suspect list for a second when they're all outside chatting in front of the high school because he had a bunch of bruises. And they're like, oh, I heard Tara really fought back. What are those from? It's from football practice. So they even kind of brought that up in that one. But this one, no, not at all. He got hit in the face with a freaking knife block. Damn.
Yeah, then not to mention all of the like million things that they've been hit with. Like, you know, they're getting hit the convenience store part. They get hit during that. You know, throughout the movie, you know, there's like there's these huge chases where they fall over. They're getting hit with other things that are distracting them. They have this huge fight with what's her name in the movie, Gail.
Oh yeah, Gail fought back pretty good.
The dumbest thing again in that one, the gun gets knocked out of her hand. It turns into this big fight. Why is the weapon that she goes for the killer's knife? You literally have a gun laying like a few feet behind you.
I was like, man, why isn't she going for that gun? Because she always did before in the other ones when she went down. She went for the fucking gun.
Yeah, and it's like the gun's nowhere near them, so you have no reason to get close. And even if they are wearing a bulletproof vest, just shoot through the mask.
Yeah.
It's not bulletproof.
Shoot their legs. They can't run after you anymore.
Yeah, that was another one of those things that just made me mad. I'm like, why are you doing this? This isn't like some ritualistic sacrifice. Like, just back up, get the gun, bam, dead.
Yeah, but these are the kind of things that they do on purpose so we can talk about. Because it's the Scream horror movie tropes that they always bring up constantly. Okay, what about that Ghostface museum scene? That kind of got me.
I thought that was pretty cool, but then at the same time, the thing that always throws me in these movies, why are these the two killers that are idolized to the point where this is like a normal thing that pops up in the movies?
Yeah, people are so into it. Like, they're really showing that fandom can be really toxic. Even though in the last one, it was Richie, he was talking about how fandom's not toxic. While he's talking about at the end, how he became a killer and how he wanted to save the movie franchise. Yeah,
it's so confusing to me. Like, how, like, I'm sure there are people out there in the world that, you know, idolize serial killers to that extent and everything, but it's like, for it to be so common that it pops up in every single movie, people who idolize the killers and people who are directly connected to the killings, it is always just so insane to me. And then it's like, to go from that to just like random people just being like, yeah, I can murder a bunch of people randomly, you know, no big deal. And it's just so weird to me. Like, I don't know if you want to get to the big reveal just yet, but that's a point that I have with that.
Yeah, we can totally get to the big reveal because that kind of leads into that museum where they go into this old abandoned movie theater and there's all the costumes without the masks, of course, of all the old killers, the old weapons, clothes from some of the victims, all sorts of things. The telephone from which one? The first one, I think. It's all burnt up.
Yeah.
But all sorts of stuff in there. All evidence in murders.
Which they even bring up.
Yeah. And you find out because one of the killers, go for it, do the reveal.
He is the cop. He is the father of Sam's. And does Tara live there too?
Yeah, Tara lives, Tara, Sam, and the roommate.
Okay, yeah, that part confused me because I was like,
yeah, it never shows her room.
It never shows her room, and it never shows her distinctly coming back for anything. So it was just confusing to me. But yeah, so it's their roommate. Their roommate's dad is a cop, which they talk about a lot because she says that he's overprotective and all this, and he transferred over to NYPD just to be near her.
After her brother's death.
Yep. And yeah, so her dad is a cop, and that's how he got his hands on a lot of the evidence. And then the owner of the theater, or the theater was for, you want to give the big reveal?
Oh, go for it.
For Richie from the last movie.
Yeah, for him, because he was such a good, big fan that his family just wanted to make this for him. Oh, man. And not to mention the third killer, Chad's roommate, the brother of Richie, and the brother of Quinn.
Yeah, so the killers were Richie's entire family.
An entire family turned murderers.
That was like my biggest thing. Like, how do you convince your entire family to just murder people? I don't understand. Like, because that means the entire family, including Richie and excluding the mom, like, obviously, but all of them are murderers. All of them. Like, how? So weird. So basically, they concocted this whole plan after seeing the state that Richie was left in because Sam went ham on him in the last movie. And they all injected themselves into the lives of the survivors, and we just go from there, and they just start murdering. And it turns out that Quinn is the one that spreaded the whole theory of Sam being the real killer.
Which was kind of brilliant, actually.
Yeah, it's funny because she was talking about, like, you know how easy it was? And I was thinking about it, I was like, it would probably be extremely easy.
Yeah. We got through that whole thing. Now, what about the whole Sam still being haunted by her father's, like, hallucination? Do you think they're trying to make her into a Dexter type later on?
It could be. Like, I kind of got a little feeling of that because she definitely has, like, an extreme urge to kill. And they make it like a, like, almost like her dad's, like, murderous spirit possessing her. But it's so weird. Like, I can't tell exactly what angle it's supposed to be coming from, but she definitely has an urge to kill. And when she can kill, she definitely takes the opportunity, which
way more than Sydney ever did.
It confuses me even more because it's like, okay, you have this massive urge to kill. Why not double tap these people when they're on the floor? Just do it. They're right there.
Well, she's never really actually been the one to not do that. Like Richie, she stabbed him 22 times and slit his throat.
Well, I mean, like when she knocks him over with a knife block, when they're in the street and Ghostface pulls up on him and she pushes him over. It's like, just jump on him, start stomping him, do something, you know?
She would definitely do that, but that's also one of those tropes. It's all got to happen at the final battle.
Yeah, I would have loved for it to been like when he first shows up at the like I already have the scene and the scenario in my head when they first get jumped by Ghostface and she pushes him over and he falls over and all that. She just gets him, starts stomping him, takes the knife, starts stabbing him, kills him. They do the big reveal. They take the body, they go down to the station. The dad's even more pissed now. And then the killings keep going. They break him out of the jail, or not the jail. They break him out of the little interrogation and everything like that. And that's when the killings start again. So now he's even more pissed. So he lets them escape because Quinn comes in as the Ghostface. So he's like, "Oh, you guys need to go out, like run." And then he's like, "All right, now the hunt's back on." Like, that would have been cooler because, like, they were talking about what's the phrase that they love using? Was it averting expectations?
Damn it. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We'll basically say that, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, that would have been the best. It's like, oh, damn, they already killed him. It's like, haha, there's still 2 more.
And you don't know.
Yeah, but instead we have, push over here, run. At the convenience store, push over, run. Hide, run. Like, I don't know, like, I would have liked a lot more if they would have just gone full ham and she just, like, straight up murdered another one. Especially if they're putting that as such a strong point in the storyline that she just has this, like, murderous intent at all time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you have a good point. With that knife block, there's no way, knowing what she felt and all these hallucinations he's had, and when it comes down to it, she would have definitely bashed that guy in way more.
Yeah, and then it's like she still had 4 people with her too. Like, Chad's pretty big dude. Tara and Mindy, like, combined, that's probably like what they're small, but combined, that's still like, what, maybe
Tara's no
250,
pushover.
260 pounds. All of
Yeah.
that, holding someone down while somebody bashes your head in with a knife block, you're not getting away.
Nope.
You're not going to be able to stab anybody. So
One
it's like,
killer down.
yeah, so it,
And that
like-
would have probably caused the roommate trying to fake dead to come up and protect her brother, or try to.
yeah, that was the only thing that got me. The fake out death of the roommate. That was the only thing that got me. Everything else, I was like, that makes sense. Because it's always like, it's just like Saw. Somehow they're always connected. You just don't know how yet.
All right, now to the rating. D4 through D20, basically a 1 through 6. D4 being horribly bad, critical failure. D20 being a natural 20, almost perfect movie. What would you rate this?
I will give it a D8 with a caveat.
Okay.
I would watch it again if somebody wanted to watch it, but I would not watch it again going out of my way to do so.
Okay. So good enough to watch all the way through, and you would watch it again, but for a
If
reason.
it was somebody else's idea, if somebody just really wanted to watch it, I'd be like, okay, let's watch it. But yeah, I would not just go out of my way to watch it again.
And you know, I feel the same way. I was going to give this a D8, but I was also going to say I wouldn't watch it again unless I did kind of what I did this last time, going for another review, going through the series, or you just kind of get the itch. You start the first one and you just want to go through all of them.
Yeah. Which happens sometimes.
Yeah, it does happen. So it's an okay movie. It was all right watching. It was a Scream movie. Definitely could have gone different ways. They got to be careful with that because there's all that talk of the meta business in the last one, and then the elevated horror and all that. So it's kind of like a losing battle. If they try something new, it might just be even worse.
Yeah, I think they have room to do something different if they keep the charm of the series, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think they could turn this into like, like Hereditary or anything like that.
Oh, absolutely not.
Like, they can't go that wild with it. But if they wanted to change up the formula, I think they could definitely get away with it. This one, though, just felt like a Scream movie.
The potential was there, but it just fell all into the same thing right at the end.
Yeah, which I think hurt it even more because I felt the potential and I felt the possible storylines, and all of them just went away, and they're like, no, this is a Scream movie. It's like, oh, okay, I guess.
Damn it. All right. Well, we're going to say goodbye on this one. Goodbye, Scream 6. We probably won't see you for a while, and we're going to see other movies instead. So, until next time, we'll see you later.
See ya.